From the High Definition Digital Production Center at Troy University's Broadcast and Digital Network, with news from across the nation and around the globe. This is Troy TrojanVision Global News.
This is Troy TrojanVision Global News, where we will give you a look at what's happening across the nation and around the world. I'm Sherry Kotzum, and here's what's making the news on January 21st, 2016. There are growing calls for armed protesters to leave the Oregon Federal Wildlife Refuge that they are occupying, and that chorus of voices now includes the state's governor. Jamie Wilson reports.
Well, this standoff has lasted nearly 3 weeks, and now the group says that they have no plans to leave. That's according to Oregon Public Broadcasting in an interview with Lavoy Finicum. He's been acting as a spokesman for the protesters. They're standing their ground despite the wishes of many people in the community.
It is time for you to go home.
Another community meeting was held in Burns last night, and this time some of the protesters showed up, including the group's leader, Ammon Bundy. They're occupying the Malheur National Wildlife Refuge to protest federal land use policies. While some community members support their cause, others are upset with how the armed group has taken over.
Thank you, I guess, but I can't thank you for the disruption to our county, to my home.
Oregon Governor Kate Brown spoke about the standoff today. She says the feds are not doing enough to bring this situation to an end, and she's calling on them to take action.
The residents of Harney County have been overlooked and underserved by federal officials' response thus far. Federal authorities must move quickly to end the occupation and hold all of the wrongdoers accountable. This spectacle of lawlessness must end.
Governor Brown says she has expressed her concerns to the White House and the U.S. Justice Department. She also says this standoff is costing taxpayers about $100,000 every week. In studio tonight, Jamie Wilson, Fox 12 Oregon.
The unusually balmy weather enjoyed by much of the nation at the start of this winter season are a distant memory as roads ice over and snow blankets cities and towns across the country. But the snarled traffic and frigid temperatures in recent days are nothing compared to the monster winter storm coming in less than 24 hours. Reed Binion reports.
This one's going to be one for the record.
Tens of millions of people are bracing for impact as a massive winter storm is forecast for the East Coast. The enormous system following severe weather already slamming communities from Tennessee to the nation's capital.
It was pretty rough driving home, and it took a while. It took him an hour to get 4 miles.
Icy conditions causing upwards of 160 accidents across Virginia and wreaking havoc on D.C. roads. Even President Obama had to fight traffic after weather conditions kept Marine One grounded. But forecasters say the current freeze is nothing compared to the frigid blast set to hit the East Coast Friday. The Mid-Atlantic appears to be the target, with Washington at the bullseye.
This is going to be a colossal storm for the nation's capital.
With blizzard conditions expected and predictions of up to 30 inches of snow, this storm could set records, likely dwarfing recent storms and perhaps even surpassing the devastating and deadly Knickerbocker storm of 1922. With the threat stretching up the eastern seaboard, stores are struggling to keep shelves stocked as people load up on food and supplies ranging from ice melt to snow blowers and snow shovels.
Our emergency command center makes sure that we're always fully stocked with the things that are needed, especially during times like this.
I'm Reed Binion reporting.
The 2016 presidential race has been a roller coaster of surprising poll numbers and shifting loyalties. Two clear frontrunners have dominated most polls on each side for months, but the numbers that count are the ones that will come in starting February 1st. As voters begin to pick their party's nominee, Reed Binion reports.
With the Iowa caucuses less than 2 weeks away and New Hampshire's first in the nation primary a week later, the battle for the top slot in both parties is heating up. Ted Cruz took big hits in Iowa Tuesday, where he had been gaining momentum. The first blow coming from Hawkeye State Governor Terry Branstad, strongly denouncing Cruz.
I believe that would be a big mistake for Iowa to support him.
The Iowa governor citing Cruz's opposition to ethanol mandates popular in the corn-rich state.
He is the biggest opponent of renewable fuels.
Then another blow to Cruz as Tea Party champion Sarah Palin endorsed Donald Trump.
I'm here to support the next president of the United States, Donald Trump.
On the Democratic side, Iowa's importance for Hillary Clinton has taken on new urgency as rival Bernie Sanders surges in New Hampshire. A new CNN WMUR poll shows Sanders with 60% support among likely Democratic primary voters to Clinton's 33%. This as Sanders pushes back against doubts about his general election viability.
Then there's an argument, well, the reason we have to vote for Secretary Clinton is she is the only candidate who can beat right-wing Republicans. If you want somebody who is going to beat Donald Trump, who is going to beat the other Republicans, I think Bernie Sanders is that candidate.
I'm Reed Binion reporting.
Members of ISIS are using the internet to find love. We'll have that and more here on Trojan Vision Global News.
Around the globe, Troy Trojan Vision Global News will return after these messages.
Mom, can we get some ice cream? Please, Mom, please.
No, we're having dinner soon.
Please.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of children in foster care who will take you just as you are.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
So they say it's a man's world?
Well, I don't see anybody's name on it. While they were out doing their thing, we slowly changed all that. We changed all that.
Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
And now, more Troy Trojan Vision Global News.
A terror attack in Pakistan killed at least 19 people at a university near Peshawar. CNN's Sophia Safi has reports with images from inside the school, and they are disturbing.
It's a chilly night here at Charsadda's Bacha Khan University after a very long day of turmoil. Right behind me is the boys' hostel where we've been told the militants were killed and contained by military personnel. We walked inside the boys' hostel and saw floors splattered with blood, walls completely marked by bullet marks, and laundry still hanging and drying in the winter air. We've also been told by eyewitnesses here on campus that they were fast asleep in their hostel when the militants stormed in. We were told that they locked themselves up in their rooms and then started screaming for help, after which they were rescued by police officials. We've also been told that the militants came in from behind the boys' hostel, threw grenades, and set buses on fire. We know that the campus is now completely clear. It is now completely isolated and deserted. The only thing that's left are military security personnel who are combing the area, still making sure that everything is all right, everything is safe. The army has completed the operation, and there is just media and military personnel over here. There are more than 60,000 schools and institutions in this part of the country, and the question now hanging in the air is how many more will be targeted in Pakistan's troubled northwestern province of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa before all of this really ends. Sophia Safi, CNN, Charsadda.
Analysts say ISIS is running what you might call its own version of Match.com. It's a recruitment site targeting mostly young women to become brides of jihadists. As Brian Todd reports, it can be very effective.
She writes in flowery detail of her first meeting with her future husband.
After a few minutes, I flipped my niqab. He looked at me. Our eyes catch each other's. I had palpitations that is faster than the speed of light.
This is a blog written by a woman who calls herself Shams and goes by the handle Bird of Jannah. Analysts say this blog is a recruitment tool for ISIS, targeting mostly women in a Match.com style.
Where it's about romance, it's about the perfect life, it's about making everything bad in their past go away because now they're going to have the perfect future.
Experts say there's even a catchphrase circulating, jihadis.
The jihadis refers to men who are displaying their masculinity, showing what heroes they are and how amazing they are as good Muslim men who are pure and who are willing to fight.
It's part of an explosion of online recruiting for ISIS that's eye-catching and inviting. Young women are promised free housing, health care, cars. Men are promised beautiful brides, true to the faith. And in many cases, it seems to be working. It's been estimated that more than 500 Western women had left their families to travel to Syria and Iraq and join ISIS.
Part of what entices them is the glossy presentation online, right?
Yeah, it appeals to the demographic, which is people in their teens, early 20s. So it's a presence online, on the platforms that people of that age use, Instagram, Twitter. But it's also very well done. It's a lot of pictures, not a lot of words.
Analysts say when the women actually get to ISIS-controlled territory, they're placed in female dorms for indoctrination. They often don't have a choice of who they marry. And in reality, they say, housing, water, and electricity are scarce. The stories often don't end well. A U.S. counterterrorism official tells CNN ISIS's use of foreign fighters as, quote, cannon fodder suggests many of these marriages will be short-lived. It's a badge of honor for a woman to be widowed. But then,
in many ways, it's hugely disappointing because the women are treated like chattel. They are gifted to the foreign fighters, and then they're recycled. When the first husband dies, they'll be recycled again.
As markets tumble, heavy hitters from global businesses and politics are getting down to discussions at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. CNN's Richard Quest say they may be talking all night.
Yep. So Davos 2016 is now underway, and the agenda of problems seems to be never-ending. There's the issue of China's slowdown, growth at 6.9%, and the ripple effects that has on the rest of the global economy. There's the dispute between Saudi Arabia and Iran, and the whole question of Iran being reintegrated to the global economy now that sanctions have been lifted. And then you've got the migrant crisis in Europe, the US presidential election, climate control, gender diversity, and you start to get an idea that those who have come to Davos have more than enough on their plate. And if all that wasn't enough, well, Davos itself wants them to be discussing how robots and the new digital economy, what they call the fourth industrial revolution, how that's going to change everyone's lives. Plenty there to keep them talking until dinner. Richard Quest, Davos, Switzerland.
For a group in Canada, lightsaber fighting isn't a thing of the future anymore. More on that after the break.
Across the nation and around the globe, TrojanVision Global News will return after these messages.
You make me wear my bike helmet. Taught me never to run with scissors.
You tell me to stay away from drugs.
To always buckle my seatbelt. And to follow the swimming rules. You're always looking out for me and trying to keep me safe.
So why do you keep a loaded gun in your drawer? Here in the garage.
Closet. Shoebox. Under the bed. Where anyone can get to it. How safe is that?
How safe is that?
How safe is that?
You asked them to follow some safety rules. Now they're asking you. In fact, they're counting on you. Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. If you own a firearm and are not using it, please be responsible and be sure that it's stored in a safe place. Remember, always, lock it up. For more information on firearm storage safety, visit ncpc.org.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
I've come up with a family emergency plan.
What is it?
It's difficult to talk about, so I'm not telling you.
I'm so glad I won't have to remember anything.
Me too. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
It's a beautiful day out here. Sunny today with light breezes, giving way to clouds in the afternoon. We could see some light precipitation to moderate precipitation later on, followed by powerful storm-like conditions. 90 miles per hour winds are expected. Authorities are asking everyone, stay indoors. Come on, that's it. Let's go.
And now, more Troy Trojan Vision Global News.
It's hard to believe, but it's that time of year again, tax time. But that also means that thieves are on the hunt to steal your well-earned refund before you file your taxes. There are some things you need to know that can keep your identity safe. Mary Maloney explains in today's Consumer Watch.
Millions will soon put their most sensitive personal and financial information in the hands of Uncle Sam. That's why it's so important to choose a tax preparer wisely. The IRS says to look for an IRS preparer tax identification number. Avoid people who base their fee on a percentage of your refund. And note if your preparer doesn't ask for receipts. Not asking enough questions about deductions and credits could be a warning sign that something is wrong. Also, never sign a blank tax return. Tax time is also prime season for identity theft. Never give your personal information over the phone or online unless you started the conversation and confirm the identity of your tax professional or an IRS employee. If information on your return is missing or wrong, that could also be red flags. Common examples of identity theft from tax returns: finding out more than one return was filed for one person in a year, or seeing more tax owed or refund offset for a year you didn't file. Another seems like a good thing, but it's not. IRS records pointing to more wages than actually earned. It could mean someone is using your information to steal your money. For Consumer Watch, I'm Mary Maloney.
Flu has killed a 12-year-old girl in Washington. Officials say the child was otherwise healthy. Gabe Cohen has the story.
Of all the wishes on Piper Lowry's bucket list, the 12-year-old wanted one thing above the rest. She wanted to be a singer. But tonight, her mother hears silence.
I thought she was going to be here forever and do all the things that we did together.
Piper was Peggy's miracle child.
We just loved her.
But last Tuesday, Piper got sick. 2 trips to urgent care revealed she had influenza A H1N1. The flu. But Mom thought she seemed okay until Saturday.
She said, "Oh, Mama," and collapsed right in front of me.
Peggy rushed Piper to the ER. Her kidneys were failing. 3 hours later, she was gone.
It's really hard.
Peggy says she didn't get her daughter the flu vaccination.
It reminds us that it can be a very severe disease, and it's just so important to protect ourselves.
Her doctor said, "You did everything right."
Either way, it's too late.
I just loved her so much.
A little girl whose voice fell silent far too soon.
I hear her singing right now. Her singing, and I can close my eyes and just imagine her right in front of me.
Here am I, send me, send me.
Some Canadian Star Wars fans are taking their fandom to the next level. Every week, the group gets together to master their lightsaber skills. And as Julian Hazelwood reports, they're looking to expand the Force.
The draw of the mighty lightsaber isn't too hard to figure out. In the world of Star Wars, it's the ultimate symbol of power and Jedi skill. For Brad Doucette, it's his driving force.
The lightsaber that you're holding right now, what does it mean to you?
It's my passion.
An elegant weapon, but a more
civilized, eh?
Inspired by years of watching the films, Doucette started East Coast Sabres 5 years ago. They practice every week and even perform in the community. It's the only group of its kind in New Brunswick. Now Doucette is working to create an after-school program to get more kids involved. He wants any child who feels like they're a geek to stand proud.
We are all proud to be geeks, and not one of them here will deny that.
Thomas Whitaker has been coming here ever since the group formed, and he never misses a week.
Well, I feel more confident just walking around. It affects my everyday life.
This is Avery Remy's first time with a lightsaber.
It's just kind of, you feel the power as if you're like the chosen one, as if like Anakin Skywalker or Luke Skywalker or Leia or all these wonderful, amazing Jedis. You just feel the power.
Doucette hopes the popularity of the most recent film will keep people interested in the group as he continues to introduce more kids to the ways of the Jedi. Julianne Hazelwood, CBC News, Fredericton.
And stay tuned for some disappointing news for Star Wars fans. Next on TrojanVision Global News.
News from across the nation and around the globe. TrojanVision Global News will return after these messages.
Did you know kids who play outdoors have healthier lungs?
Totally. Did you know that boys that play with dolls make better husbands? My son has lots of dolls.
But did you know terry cloth diapers breathe better?
I did.
It's totally true.
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys know statistically friendly kids have more friends?
Yeah.
That's obvious.
Did you know most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right seat. Visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat to make sure your child is protected.
Hey, Hard, what's this? That's my resignation letter. You're resigning? Why? Because you're constantly ignoring me. You're half as active as you used to be, and you eat stuff like this. You've been putting me under a lot of pressure lately. That's why I'm ready to quit. I forgot. I'll do better. Please, don't quit on me. Okay. But remember, it's not what you say. It's what you do.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you.
Let's go for a walk.
Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
See, be, care, share, find gifts and more. It's your nature. Explore. For the children in your life, visit Nature Explore at arborday.org.
The American Academy of Neurology recommends athletes thought to have a concussion be immediately removed from play and assessed by a healthcare professional trained in concussion. This isn't just about sports, it's about your brain. A message from the American Academy of Neurology.
I was afraid of that.
Well, guess it's time to get you fixed.
Your pets will start fooling around sooner than you think.
Go on, get out of here!
Accidental litters lead to millions killed in shelters each year. Help prevent more. Fix at month 4.
And now, more TrojanVision Global News.
The Sundance Film Festival kicks off today. Stephanie Elam gives us a preview of America's most prestigious film festival and the impact it can have on films.
It's that time of the year when Hollywood types leave the palm trees behind, grab their parkas, and come here to Park City, Utah for the Sundance Film Festival. And sure, that means the parties, the glitz, the glam, but the real draw is the movies.
It really sets the tone for the year in culture, in film and television.
For documentary filmmakers, this festival is the place to be.
It's really the only place to get a high-profile launch for a nonfiction film. And a lot of these films go on to get bought by television networks and by theatrical distributors and make a big difference.
Be it fiction or a documentary, this year's slate of films may ruffle some feathers.
A lot of the most anticipated films are ones that are not only potentially controversial, but are seeking that controversy. You have documentaries about Anthony Weiner. You have documentaries about ISIS. You have a film called Birth of a Nation, which is about a slave uprising told from the perspective of the slaves.
But no matter the topic, every filmmaker comes to Sundance looking to make a deal.
In addition to the theatrical distributors, there are Netflix, Amazon, HBO, Showtime, CNN, all of these different venues that are going to Sundance looking for great movies to buy.
The ultimate goal? Turn Sundance buzz into Oscar gold.
Let's take Brooklyn for an example.
So what were you doing at an Irish dance? Don't the Italians have dances?
This film was seen at Sundance last year, was bought by Fox Searchlight, and now, a year later, it's in the Oscar race as a Best Picture candidate.
Stars can also get some shine from Sundance. Take Boyhood and Whiplash. Both debuted at the festival and went on to be nominated by the Academy in 2015 for Best Film, and ultimately led to Oscar wins for Patricia Arquette in Boyhood and J.K. Simmons in Whiplash.
Here we go. 5, 6, and... Rushing or were you dragging?
Jennifer Lawrence was nothing before she had a movie, a tiny movie at Sundance. That movie got a lot of attention. She got Hunger Games and became a huge star.
You will rescue PETA at the earliest opportunity, or you will find another Mockingjay.
A huge star and an Oscar winner.
So chances are a few of the films debuting here may soon be coming to a theater near you. Stephanie Elam, CNN, Park City, Utah.
One of the next movies set in a galaxy far, far away just got a bit further away. David Daniel has that and more in today's Hollywood Minute.
Bruce Springsteen fans were treated to a heartfelt moment when the singer decided to take it easy during a Chicago performance, paying tribute to Eagles frontman Glenn Frey, who died earlier this week. Fans raised their lighters and cell phones during the tribute, which concluded with Springsteen saying just 2 words, Glenn Frey. That was Boss. From stars to planets, the brainiacs at Caltech claim to have found evidence of what could be a 9th planet in our solar system just past Neptune. The object, which they say is bigger than Earth, was dubbed the super creative nickname Planet 9. Sounds like one of those old sci-fi flicks. It came from Planet 9. But what about the original 9th planet, Pluto? Pluto was considered the solar system's 9th planet until 2006 when it was demoted. Wonder how Pluto feels about the new Planet 9. Awkward. Hey, if we want to cheer Pluto up, maybe we should send a bouquet of these new space flowers. Astronaut Scott Kelly tweeted pics from the ISS of what he says are the first flowers grown in space. Scientists say the breakthrough will allow for better understanding of how to grow plants in microgravity. Yeah, science. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Move over, Pluto. Experts may have found a new 9th planet in our solar system. More information coming up in today's Take a Look at This.
I will finish what you started.
A disturbance in the Force. Star Wars fans will have to wait 7 months longer than anticipated for the follow-up to The Force Awakens. Disney has moved the release date of Episode 8 from May to December of 2017. It's understandable. If you opened a movie in mid-December and it broke dozens of box office records, wouldn't you release the next movie at the same time of year too? Fans aren't waiting to buy Star Wars toys. A retail research group says U.S. sales topped $700 million last year, making it 2015's top toy property. Sales took off on Force Friday in September and never let up, even with the lead character Rey underrepresented on store shelves.
Use our voice or whatever way we can.
And a Celine Dion update. The superstar singer is scheduled to return to her Las Vegas stage show February 23rd. Dion's husband, Renee Angelil, died of cancer last week at age 73. No doubt her fans will be eager to support her whenever she returns. For Hollywood Minute, I'm David Daniel.
And that wraps things up for us here on Trojan Vision Global News. For a look at what's going on a little closer to home, stay tuned for Troy Trojan Vision News. I'm Sherry Kotzum. Thanks for joining us.